is happening, people? It is Brian Alsruhe, NEVERsate.com. Stupid markers. And you may know that that means we are talking programming. So that means you're gonna need something to write with. Now, while you're grabbing that, I just want to tell you guys about two quick things before we get into the programming. The first is that the only sale that I do on programs all year long is a Black Friday deal. I work very, very hard on those programs, and I feel that they're worth every single dime, so I never, ever put them on sale other than Black Friday. Links below. Absolutely any type of program that you want. However, the basic idea is that if you buy a 12 or 16-week program, you will get it for the 10-week price. Also, I wanted to thank each and every single one of you who reached out about that last video when I talked about it. I'm starting to have small seminars at my gym where it's only 5 athletes and myself, and it is a long, extensive seminar. The price point is $450. However, it is an extreme amount of close personal contact. So what I tell you to do is go back, check out the last video because I explain all the details on those things. If you are interested, the first one sold out almost immediately. So I am gonna open up a second date for February 1st. Again, I'm only taking 5 athletes. It's like a 5 to 6 hour long seminar where we break down your lifts, we go through a workout, we do a consultation, you get a talk, programming, all kinds of stuff gets involved with it. So if you are interested, check out the other video and then make sure you email me at neversate@gmail.com, either for those programs or for the seminar. I'll get back to you, let you know if you have a slot for either. Both make amazing gifts for this holiday season, so just letting you guys know that's coming up. Hopefully by now you've grabbed something to write with. All right, so this program is called the Reps Per Minute program. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, I put out all types of different programs for all types of different people in different situations. This one in particular is not for someone who's trying to become a world champion powerlifter or a world champion strongman. I have a ton of other programming videos on my channel that can get you to those types of goals. However, this one is going to be all based off the clock because the goals are a little bit different. We're not trying to deadlift 900 pounds. This is for people who want to be bigger, faster, stronger, more conditioned, lose body fat, gain some mass, but they're not trying to be a regular competitor. They're not trying to break world records. They're simply trying to better their situation. And it is also really, really good because since it is reps per minute by the title, it tells you the entire program is on the clock. So it's going to take less time than virtually any other program they're going to do out there. In fact, it's only about 40 minutes of actual work per day of the program. So it's very, very easy to fit in if you are not one of those people who likes to talk a lot at the gym. Now, one of the biggest reasons why this program even exists is because number one, it is a full body program, and I've been getting requests for full body programs since I started YouTube years and years ago. So this is officially the first time I am tackling that. Now, again, in my opinion, if you want to be a world champion powerlifter or a world champion strongman, then full body training probably isn't where you want to be. You need to be a good bit more specific. So I always kind of steered away from it. However, for this one particular, a full body program works absolutely perfect. So if you have been looking for it, here you go. And it actually came about because these are types of workouts that we use all the time during deload weeks or testing weeks at my gym when a normal program doesn't really fit in, or if we are kind of in a weird spot where we're at the end of one big cycle of programming and we're getting ready to go into another big cycle, but we have a couple weeks in between and we don't know what to do with it. This type of program is exactly for those types of situations. Also a really good program for those of you who've had a big life change recently, like maybe you started a new job, maybe you got a kid, maybe you moved to a new house, you just have less time for the gym at this stage of your life. It's not less of a priority, you just can't stick as much time into it as you would like. Well, this program is gonna get you in the door and out the door a lot faster than virtually anything else you're going to do. Let's get to specs. All right, so let's cover the basics here, because if you're not interested in this, then I'd rather you click off now and go to a different program video just to see if this will work for you or not. To begin, it is going to be a 9-week program because there are going to be 3-week waves, all right? Each wave is gonna have a different intensity. We're gonna cover that later, but it is a 9-week program, and that is without any testing or deload. So if you do wanna add the testing and deload in, obviously that's gonna add some weeks to it. However, again, remember that this program is not trying to take you from a 700-pound deadlift to a 750-pound deadlift. This is more about overall, well-rounded, I wanna be a superhero type of training, not so specific. Also, you're gonna be going 4 times a week for about an hour each time. Now, this can be kicked down to about 3 times a week. However, as with everything, like I say, if you're trying to learn Russian, if you don't speak Russian, but you are trying to learn Russian, you will become fluent a lot faster if you spend 4 hours a week on it versus 3. So if you need to do 3, do 3. All I'm saying is 4 is better. Now, I know a lot of people want to do more than 4, like into 5 and 6 and 7, and that's completely fine, but probably not for this program. To be completely honest with you, I really don't see too many people outside of freaks and super drug athletes get much out of more than 4 times a week. That seems kind of be the sweet spot for a lot of lifters. I'm not saying it is for you, I'm just saying that it definitely is for me. And then of course, the final thing that I mentioned, it is actually the very first full body program that I've ever put on. So if you are interested in that, this might be the one for you. All right, so now let me explain why this whole thing's on the clock. All right, so each and every single session that you will be doing in this program contains 4 different parts, and this is all to try to explain the minutes. So the first part is going to be a lower body portion of the workout. That is going to be 10 minutes. The second portion is going to be something back related, whether it be a row, a pull-up, a carry, a load, something like that. Working your back is going to be another 10 minutes. After that, you're going to be doing something upper body with a press, either horizontally or vertically or whatever the case may be. 10 minutes there, and then you're going to finish with 10 minutes of core or conditioning. Now, how much time it takes you to get up to your working weights, or how much time you spend messing around or talking to people or looking at Instagram is greatly going to determine how long you were spending in the actual gym. However, people tend to get a little bit distracted, so I stick the entire thing on a clock, and believe it or not, the clock is the absolute game changer for this. It makes you go when you don't want to go. It is the coach that has zero sympathy for you whatsoever, because at the end of the day, the clock simply doesn't care. That was convenient. Now, to illustrate this point, I have drawn this beautiful clock that only has one hand. Now, remember when we were talking about the 4 sections of your workout and how each one was going to take 10 minutes? It's because each set is going to take 1 minute, meaning that you have 10 sets within that 10-minute time. Now, how many reps you end up doing and how heavy those reps are is something that we're going to be covering in a second, but none of that matters until you understand this time principle that we're going to be doing, because literally every single time that you pick up a weight, you're going to be on the clock. So let's say your first 10 minutes of your first workout is based off the deadlift, and let's say that you need to do 3 deadlifts within this minute. So basically it's going to say at the top of every minute, for 10 minutes, you will do 3 deadlifts. The idea here is that the clock starts. You have 3 deadlifts to perform. So go. Rep 1, rep 2, rep 3. Now, obviously the clock keeps ticking. As the clock keeps ticking, you get to rest. You get the entire remainder of the minute to rest. So if you get those 3 reps done quickly, then you get more time to rest. If you get those 3 reps done slowly, you get less time to rest. So if you want to focus more on your form and technique, you can absolutely do that. If you want to work on your explosiveness and moving fast things or moving things quickly, then you can absolutely do that as well. Now, there are going to be certain instances when you get done those reps and you're like, wow, I have a ton of time left because that felt really light. But don't fret, my friend. Just like with all programs, things get heavier, and there are going to be certain times when this minute is going to seem like it does not have enough seconds, because it's just going to catch up to you super, super fast. Because even once you kick up to something around like 70%, performing 3 reps at 70% in a minute, at the top of every minute for 10 minutes will absolutely destroy you. But to keep things as basic as possible, when that second hand reaches back up to the 12, it's time to go, my friend. It is not peer pressure, it's just your turn. On to layout. Okay, basically what you're looking at here is an entire week laid out of what I'm talking about. Now remember, each one of these sections is only 10 minutes each. So this is day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. Now, first thing you're gonna notice is that each one of these sections has an intensity kind of label to it. So if you start out day 1 on your deadlifts, they're gonna be heavy, which means that your second thing is gonna be light, your third thing is gonna be medium. All that I'm trying to get to here, we're gonna lay out what those intensities and what heavy means here in a little bit after we get through this. However, just know that you are never going to be completely punishing yourself on this day or this day or this day or this day. Each day kind of varies in its intensity throughout it, as well as if you have a heavy deadlift this week, when you do deadlifts again over here, they're going to be medium. You will not have like heavy deadlift with a heavy deadlift or a heavy squat with a heavy squat, heavy bench. It always undulates so that you can always be recovered and be attacking each and every single one of your sessions as hard as you can. Charts will very much simplify this and make it easier to read and understand. It will be at the end of the video. If you guys want to check the timestamps, I'm sure it's there. But basic idea here, like I mentioned before, these are all going to be full body workouts. So the first thing is going to be your lower body section. For day 1, we're starting out with deadlifts and we're going heavy. The second portion is always going to be something back related. Now, this carry could be a farmer's carry, it could be a sandbag carry, a front loaded carry. It could be anything. You can carry your dead relatives, I don't know. Or you could do a back variation here if you are not into carrying things, if you're not trying to be athletic, you're just trying to be a static guy. All that I'll say is that whatever back variation you choose here should probably mimic whatever direction your push is. So here, your number 3 exercise is going to be an overhead press because you have a push that is vertical, which means that your pull should probably be vertical as well. I try to keep my pressing and my pulling on the same day in the same plane of motion. But that's me. If you don't want to, do what you like. And the fourth exercise for the day is going to be some sort of core or oblique work. Now again, remember that each one of these sections is only about 10 minutes long. So let's say your deadlifts need to be at 65%. So your warm-up just gets you to 65%. Once you're there, you start the clock. After 10 minutes, you are done all of your deadlifts. Next, you move on to a carry or a row or pull-up or whatever you're gonna be doing for your back in this section. Let's say it's at 40%. You're gonna work up to 40%, start the clock. Once your 10 minutes is done, your back work is done for the day. Then you're gonna move to your overhead press on this day, as much as it takes you to get warmed up to your starting weight, and then you're gonna do your 10 minutes. So really guys, like I said before, how long this workout takes greatly determines how long it takes you to get up to your working weight, as well as how much messing around and just talking to other people that you do. But this entire thing can easily be done in 50 to 60 minutes, no problem whatsoever. Now we move on to day 2, you'll see that we have squats, but the squats are light. So we start out with heavy deadlifts on lower body day, then we moved on to light squats, and then again, you did a carry, now you have a row. You did a push that was vertical on day 1, now you have a push that is horizontal, so now you're doing a bench press or a bench press variation. Again, your push here is medium, your push here is heavy, so they don't really conflict with each other. On your 4th day of your day 2 and day 4, so your even days of the week, instead of doing any core work, I want you to throw in some sort of conditioning. So maybe it could be something as easy as 3 burpees at the top of a minute for 10 minutes or whatever would be hard for you, but that would be the conditioning portion there. Now, before I lose you guys, let me just put this in a little bit more meathead terms. So, first day of the week, Monday, you walk in. Your first 10 minutes is spent doing deadlifts. Your second 10 minutes is spent doing a farmer's carry. Your third 10 minutes is spent doing an overhead strict press. Your fourth 10 minutes is doing dragon flags. You go home, you rest, you recover, you do everything you do. You come back, let's say Wednesday, your day 2 of the gym. You're gonna walk in, you're gonna be doing your first 10 minutes is gonna be squats. Second 10 minutes, you're focused on rows. Third 10 minutes, you're on bench press. Fourth 10 minutes, you're doing some type of conditioning. Let's say burpees, like I used in the example. Which brings us to day 3, where now you are back to doing the deadlift. However, you are not doing the same deadlift. If you really want to, if you're a powerlifter and you just want to do nothing but traditional squat, bench, deadlift, then please feel free. This is your program, this isn't my program. But if it were me doing it, or if I customize it for you, this is absolutely going to be a second deadlift that kind of works some of the weak points. So if you're weak off the floor on your regular conventional deadlift, this deadlift is going to mimic something that is going to help you with that, like a snatch grip deadlift or a deficit deadlift. The second motion is going to be a pull, right? We talked about here being a carry. Now you're going to be doing a weighted pull up. Your third exercise is going to be another vertical push. But again, if you did a strict press over here on day 1, maybe here you want to do a push press or a Z press or a seated press or whatever the case may be. You can change up the variation to work on the weak point of your main lift. Since we're on day 3, that is an even or an odd day, so you're back to core work. Again, let's say you do some hollow rocks during that time. I don't know. But it does bring us down to day 4, where you are back on the squat. Now, again, I wouldn't be doing a traditional squat. I might be throwing something like a front squat, a Zercher squat, some other type of squat that will help some of the weak points of a main thing, because when you're in a hole, the best thing to do is stop digging. The second thing is going to be some sort of load. Now, if you're not a strong man, you're not going to be familiar with what a load is, but all that basically means that you're picking up a weight and you're putting it over a bar, or you're putting it on a platform, or you're putting it over top of a barbell, whatever the case may be. If you do not have access to doing something like that, this load down here just becomes another back variation. It can be a carry, like a sandbag carry or a plate carry. It can be a row. It can be a weighted pull-up. It doesn't matter. Your second exercise of any day is going to be back related. So do what you think is right. Your third thing is going to be another horizontal push, just like here. However, again, if this is your traditional bench press, I would make this an incline press or a floor press or a close grip bench press. Something that is going to be addressed some of the weak points, and then you're going to finish your last 10 minutes with conditioning. I suppose now would be a good time to explain what the medium, heavy, all the intensity stuff is. All right, so like I said earlier, unless I was a complete slacker, there should be a chart at the end of this video if you want to check timestamps. That will lay this out much easier to read and understand, so you can plug it into your own program as you're building it out. But this is a basic idea of the intensities. So for wave 1, on your light days, like when we had that last whiteboard up, and on your first day it was heavy, right? So that means your deadlift is heavy, which means that you have 60% for 3 to 4 reps at top every minute for 10 minutes. If you're going light, you're at 40% and you're looking at 5 to 6 reps at top every minute for 10 minutes. If it says medium, then you're looking at 50%, which is 4 to 5 reps at top every minute for 10 minutes. Now the reason why there isn't an exact number, like it says 5 to 6 reps, or 4 to 5 reps, or 3 to 4 reps, is because there needs to be a little bit of auto-regulation here. Number one, the biggest thing about this is since you're on a clock, I don't want you to rush, okay? I want you to move with a purpose, and I want you to not mess around and look on Instagram and things. However, if you're trying to rush, typically bad things happen, and that's when injuries tend to start showing up. So what I tend to do is before that second is coming up, about 10 seconds before the minute crosses over, I get under the bar for my squat, or I get lined up on my deadlift. I am completely set up and ready to go so that when that second hand takes over, it's like someone says go, I start my reps. I knock out my 3 reps of deadlift, and then I get literally probably about 50 seconds to rest before it happens again. Now during that time, I typically assess what went well, what went bad, what I can do better next set, and by the time I've done that, it's typically time to go again. However, the reason why it says 4 to 5 or 3 to 4 is because if you are running out of time or you're starting to rush, you drop the reps back. If it is too heavy for you, you drop the reps back. However, conversely, if it is too easy, which at the beginning of this program, until you get caught up and you kind of get an idea what's going on, some stuff is going to seem a little bit too easy, at which time, if doing 4 reps seems kind of like, man, I'm getting 4 reps done, I don't feel that bad, kick it up to 5, maybe even kick it up to 6. Do what you need to do to manipulate those reps to try to fit it more and more into the minute, just to make it as challenging as possible. But as a basic guideline, 40%, 5 to 6, 50%, 4 to 5, 6%, 3 to 4. Now, that is for weeks 1 through 3, so that's your first wave. Weeks 1 through 3. After that, you move on to weeks 4 through 7, right? And everything just kicks up 5%. So your 40% went to 45%, 50 went to 55%, say blah, blah, and all of your reps stayed the same. So not a big change there, okay? So I really don't need to, if I need to explain that more, I shouldn't need to explain that more. When you kick down to the third wave though, so weeks 6 through 9, all right? You're looking at light, you kick up to 50%, you're going for 4 to 5 reps, it drops, all right? 50%, you're gonna have a harder time doing 5 to 6. 60%, you're kicking out 3 to 4, and then this is the big one. At 70%, you're only looking at 2 to 3 reps. Now, I know some of you are gonna look at 70% and be like, that's not heavy at all, but you need to remember, 70%, 30 reps of 70% in 10 minutes is a lot. What that basically means is if you have a 500-pound deadlift, at top every minute for 10 minutes, you're gonna be asked to do 350 pounds 3 times. That might be easy the first 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 minutes, but minutes 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, no bueno, my friend. And the final thing that I want to mention before I move on from this, remember that you're going to be dealing in a lot of variation, and most people do not have 1 rep maximums for those variations. So let's say earlier in the week you're doing your bench press, later in the week you're going to be doing a floor press, but you do not know your floor press PR. So you're like, I don't know what 65% of my floor press PR is. Well, luckily you have a rep range to follow. So all that I would do in that instance at the beginning when you do not know the PR for a variation is just work up to a 3 or 4 rep max, all right? And then back down the remainder of your sets. You have 10 opportunities, 10 minutes to continually add weight or subtract weight or manipulate that weight to get an idea of where you're gonna be. And trust me, after a week or 2 of doing those same variations in that manner, you're gonna have a very good idea of what your 1, 2, 3 rep max is for that. So really, really good program. Also, if you are interested in getting involved in a lot of variations with your lifting, to kind of find a bunch of PRs in an easy and actually very, very fun way. So now, theoretically, if I did my job correctly, you guys should be able to sit down with a piece of paper, a pencil, pen, whatever you care about, and you should be able to write out this entire program without any problem at all. Which I guess brings me to the obvious and selfish sales point time. Guys, look, I am well aware that all of you could sit down with a piece of paper and a pencil and just plug and play everything that I just told you to do, and you would have a program in about an hour. If you didn't like this one, you go to some of my other programs and you could do the exact same thing. However, this is what makes all the videos possible. So if I've ever helped you with a deadlift video or a squat video or whatever, then this is exactly why that video got made, is because I sell personalized programs. Now don't get it twisted. You guys watching the videos, liking them, subscribing them, sharing them, that is plenty thanks enough, and that's why I do it. However, if I do want to eat food and want to continue to make the videos, I do need to make some money. Now, again, like I said, I know all of you can lay this out on your own. However, when it comes down to convenience, I don't change my own oil. It's not that I'm not able to, it's that I literally just would rather pay someone to take 10 minutes out of their day and do it because they do it all the time. And there's also the experience factor. This lifting stuff is nothing more than a journey, and a program is nothing more than a road trip going from Maryland all the way down to Florida. Now, anyone can follow a GPS, can follow a map, can do whatever, and they'll get there. There's no doubt in my mind. However, that trip is typically a little bit more fun and a little bit easier if you have a navigator sitting in the passenger seat going, no, man, don't take that turn, take this turn. It'll get you there 15 minutes faster. It's a little better this way. All that I'm trying to do is be that navigator by writing your program for you so that you don't get stuck on all the dumb things that I got stuck on going through. Now, again, I am not expecting this. I don't expect you guys to buy whatsoever. If you guys are interested in it, make sure that you email me at neversate@gmail.com. I'll send you a questionnaire. We'll see if we can work together and we will take it from there. That said, I would not do that until Black Friday because, again, you can save yourself some money. Buying a 12 or 16-week program, you'll get it for the 10-week price. As well as, guys, if you are interested in a very small, very intimate 5-athlete seminar where it's nothing but me tearing apart your lifts, doing consulting, doing diets, doing programming, doing all that kind of stuff together, check out the last video because I kind of break into more what the actual day will look like. Again, remember, it's an expensive price point of $450. However, you are never going to walk into a seminar and get as much personal attention as you will during that, unless it's the Dave Tate one, which I'm kind of copying off of. Thanks, Dave. But guys, I truly hope that helps you out. If this particular program does not fit what you're trying to do and doesn't work with your goals, go ahead and check out my video playlist of all my other programs because I'm sure there's something in there that's going to make you bigger, faster, stronger, more dangerous, whatever it is that you're trying to do. But I do appreciate all the support and just everything you guys do. Hopefully you guys have an awesome Thanksgiving and holiday time. And if you guys do want to save some money, the Black Friday thing, remember, it's an awesome present for your husband or significant other. As always, I will be catching up with you guys later in the week. Until I do, go out to something amazing with your lives. Keep working hard, people. Be nice to each other. Please. I'll see you then.